Guarantee.
We arrive in one day or your repair is free.
We should probably...
Sing with us, William.
I would really rather...
Come on.
I don't want to.
Chicken bok bok.
Guys, no.
It's catchy.
Do it.
Sing out, Louise.
Fine.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Whoa.
Whoa is right.
Can we get back to work now?
Schedule anytime at AlaskanAC.com.
Incredible.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
It has finally ended. The Pac-12 conference, as we know it, came to a conclusion this weekend, shortly after we left the air on Friday for your Arizona Wildcats when the men concluded their run at the NCAA Track and Field Championships. Literally, we went off the air at 6. The 4x100 team took the track at 6:02, and it looked initially like they were going to score some points. Texas Tech dropped the baton. There's nothing worse than when a relay team drops the baton and there's guys just kind of standing on the track with nothing left to do. But that was Texas Tech, our soon-to-be foes in the Big 12 Conference. And so that meant there were only 8 teams left. Arizona finished 8th. So, again, you would have liked a better showing, but at the time, it looked like 8th. That's all you need. You only need to finish 8th to score at the NCAA Track and Field Championships. But then, they wouldn't make the scoring official. I kept looking at it. I was looking at it. We watched it here. They had just put it up on the TV as we were getting off the air. They went on to other events, but the score was not official. It was not showing as official. It was showing as under review. So whenever you see that in track and field, you start to wonder, oh, boy, somebody's in trouble if they're reviewing it and it's taking them this long to get to a conclusion. I'd sent out a tweet that the Wildcats had scored. They'd finished 8th. And then I got a text. The Wildcats might have gotten disqualified. What? Disqualified for being out of zone. I have no idea what being out of zone means, but I'm assuming it meant that they left their lane. I can deduce that that's probably what being out of zone means. Then come to find out that not only did the Wildcats get disqualified, but there were 2 other teams that got disqualified. And now the whole race was under protest. That seemed to last a very short period of time because the final numbers finally went official. And indeed, it was upheld that Arizona, along with USC, along with San Jose State, were all disqualified from the men's 4x100. Auburn stood as the winner. They won the race, and it stood as such. So no points for the Arizona Wildcats at the men's track and field championships from the 4x100 relay team. And then later on the evening, Sir Jonathan Sims, who won the Pac-12 championship in the triple jump, competed in that event, finished 23rd, well out of an opportunity to score, but not again, for his first time there, not a bad showing for Sir Jonathan Sims. Unfortunately, though, the Wildcats come up empty on the point side at the NCAA Men's Track and Field Championships, and that is the official end of the athletic year for your Arizona Wildcats. Then there were two Pac-12 baseball teams went into the weekend trying to continue to carry the banner for this dying conference, possibly all the way to Omaha, Nebraska. That, unfortunately, did not happen either. The Oregon Ducks lost in their regional, super regional, to Texas A&M. They got swept. And the Oregon State Beavers lost in their super regional at second seed Kentucky. Those games were a little bit better, but they got swept as well. And with that came the end of the Pac-12 conference as we know it over the weekend. 8 teams move on the baseball side to Omaha, Nebraska. 8 teams from 2 conferences. 2 conferences will be represented at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. The ACC got 3 teams in. The SEC got 5 teams in. So there you have it. 2 conferences from the Southeast will try to win the NCAA Division I baseball championship. We can talk about all that today. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. It was a busy sports weekend. The NBA Finals, Game 2 last night. Boston pulled away at the end and defeated the Dallas Mavericks to go up 2-0. So they'll head back down to Texas with a chance to close out the NBA Finals. The Florida Panthers put the first nail in the continuation of the misery of the nation of Canada by shutting out the Edmonton Oilers in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals on Saturday night. They'll play Game 2 of that series tonight down in South Florida. The head coach of the Miami Dolphins, I guess they beat a drum or something prior to the games down there. Mike McDaniel was beating the drum prior to Game 1. And, of course, the major WNBA news continues to swirl around Caitlin Clark. This weekend, she was excluded from the U.S. Olympic women's basketball team. We'll dive into that. It's our question of the day, in fact. If you head on over right now to Twitter, Wildcats1290, you can vote in our question of the day. Should Caitlin Clark had gotten a spot on the U.S. Olympic women's basketball team? I say she should have. I believe Caitlin Clark should have been on the team. But I've always believed, this goes way back, I've always believed that since they went to essentially making this about professional players in the United States, I've always believed that the best college player, both male and female, should have a spot on that team every 4 years. You should take your best collegiate athlete to the Olympics. So from that standpoint, I believe Caitlin Clark should have had a spot on that team. You can vote in our poll. That's up right now. We'll give you the early results. It's pretty even. 52% of you right now say no. Caitlin Clark should not have gotten a spot on the U.S. women's Olympic basketball team. She's not ready. 48% of you say yes. She is the most popular player. And she's a pretty good player. But like I said, I believe she should have gotten a spot because I believe the best American collegiate should have a spot on the Olympic team. J.W. Madden joins us. J-Dub, how was your weekend?
Tiring. I decided to move my living room from one side of the room to the other yesterday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
how many couches did that entail?
just one big sectional couch, but I got a shelf that's probably 1,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So that was a bit of work. But yeah, I just sat and watched basketball. Mostly did some work around the house. How about you?
It was good. We did some purging on Saturday. We have a storage unit, and so my wife for a long time has been wanting to get into this storage unit and start throwing things away.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I keep a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff from college. Like I literally have like I still have most of my like minor league baseball tapes from like the mid 90s.
Yeah.
I still have like tapes from college radio, the games I did in college, USC football, USC basketball. I have like all of that. Like
Yeah.
I have boxes full of cassette tapes in storage. Just all kinds of things, awards that, we don't really have. We've never lived in a big house or anything. I keep saying that I got to have stuff. I keep telling her, I got to have stuff from my man cave when I get my man cave someday. She's like, man, you're 56 years old. You're never going to have a man cave at this point. So just all kinds. I had 45s. J-Dub.
Yeah.
Still in that I kept. 45. For those of you who don't know what a 45 is, that's like a really small record.
Did you spend more time debating or more time actually putting things into the garbage?
We didn't debate there was some debating. There's always some debating when you get into that type of situation. But I felt good about the amount of stuff I got rid of. Like I had a whole box full of baseballs, just baseballs. Like some of them some of them were signed, some of them were just baseball. I keep
they weren't memorable home runs or anything.
No, they're just baseballs.
Yeah.
I keep balls from every league I ever called a game in or something like that. Some of them, like I said, I had a few of them have autographs. I probably don't know. Like there was only one of the baseballs that had a name I know I had one baseball that had Gaylord Perry.
Right.
Gaylord Perry's name on it. That was the only one I could make out of somebody like that was like a major big time big leaguer. Most of them were like minor league balls from teams I did games from and that kind of thing.
I have some random crap, I'm sure, somewhere that's just sitting around. But for me, if it doesn't serve a function, and if it's just something to look at and get a little teary-eyed over some moment 30 years ago,
right?
If it's a one-of-a-kind thing that can't be replaced, sure. Like a graduation hat or something, something that's a momentous thing. I might have a box of a couple of those things. But my whole thing is if it doesn't serve a purpose. To that point yesterday when I was cleaning up a little bit, I actually found a Walkman.
Oh, wow.
That does function, that had Pennywise's debut album in it, and I listened to it, and it works just fine. So who knows? Maybe someday Wi-Fi goes down, satellites don't work, and I need my Walkman because I want to listen to a tape. It still works. It still functions just fine.
I actually, a few years ago, I went out and bought a device that allows me to digitize my Walkman. So I put a tape in there, and then I can digitize it now and keep just the file. And so that was supposed to be the plan when I bought that thing like 2 years ago, when I'd start going through all these tapes,
right,
digitize them, and then get rid of the tapes. But I think I got through like 10 tapes and stopped doing it.
There's a bit of like dirt on those recordings. It's so much cleaner nowadays because digital artists, and I can tell you this for having 25 years and 35 years in Photoshop, taking the dirt and the scum away from things isn't always great. And sometimes those old recordings, they have scratchiness to them. They have a little bit of like dust to them. And much more modern recordings are all done in a studio on a computer, and you just don't get that anymore.
No.
So if there's anything to be said about some of those older albums, it's really that. It's the authentic, studio recording feeling of it.
Are you a hoarder? Cricket?
Um,
Do you keep stuff forever?
I like to scrapbook, so I do save things,
Okay.
so I could stash it away. That I've been collecting stuff for 25 years, and I've never gotten to putting that scrapbook together. So kind of, maybe not hoarding per se, but I just keep stuff that I'm never going to get to making that scrapbook. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah. So yeah, I do keep stuff.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So the other thing that happened, we went downtown for Second Saturdays.
Yeah.
And they'd canceled it.
What?
Yes.
What?
It was canceled.
What?
Yeah. that was my reaction when we drove into downtown, and we're like, well, it doesn't look like much is happening down here for Second Saturday. So yeah, apparently Second Saturday got canceled. If you know anything about that, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. So there was nothing on their website about it. But then I said, well, let me look on their Facebook page. And they had put it on their Facebook page that it was canceled, that Second Saturdays is canceled until further notice.
Huh.
So I don't know what's happening with that. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of it. But, so we go downtown. We're looking for all the vendors and stages, and there was nothing.
Nothing, huh? Great.
So we turned it into our own little private bar crawl.
Bar crawl, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
We
there you go.
Went to the Monica. Have you been to the Monica?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's a new spot downtown. Very nice. They have a huge outdoor patio, which, on a nice night was probably one of the best places I would think to be downtown.
Oh, good.
Have you ever eaten a street taco?
Yes.
Okay, we went to Street Taco and got some tacos. Then there's a new place called Sonoran Moonshine Company. It's have you ever been to Borderland Company, Borderland Brewery?
I think
it's
so.
called. So the guy that I guess started Borderland Brewery now began this other place, and the bartender referred to it as his booze experiment.
Oh, okay.
Because he does beer, now he's doing booze. So we went there. It's like one of those craft cocktail kind of places. Now, I'm not personally like a craft cocktail type of guy, but it's it's probably not a place I would go to regularly, but occasionally I would pop in there but it's like highfalutin. I call them highfalutin drinks.
Oh.
Yeah, there's actually a place called Highfalutin. It's a restaurant.
Yeah. I think if it requires a syrup with some kind of herb in it. Then,
Yeah, they were lighting stuff. I'll have to show you the video.
Yeah.
They were lighting stuff on fire and in there, and that's kind of cool. It's like a cool visual of them smoking up the drinks and that kind of thing. But
not to be snooty about it, but to me, if you spend 18 years making a perfect single malt, there's really nothing else you really need to put in there to make it an enjoyable experience. I'm not here to tell people that fancy martinis with a lot of different types of flavorings in it, that's great. We were on the cutting edge of that back in the 90s before a lot of foodie type of stuff came about with modern, phones and internet and whatnot. That being said, if you really find a drink that you like a really nice, gin martini or something to that effect, then I think that a lot of the extracurriculars, it's really more, a LARF. It's like you can enjoy that, but would you go and drink, a consistently, DK, something that has 9 ingredients in it? To drink a martini with 9 ingredients in it on a semi-regular basis? No. Once in a while is great.
Yeah,
but I think if you're looking find that one thing that is a simple drink to make and no bartender can ever screw it up, no matter where you are in the world.
Right.
And that's my life lesson for you, to go find a drink that you like.
The
It doesn't
service
require a lot.
The service was great, though. Great service there.
I'm sure.
Both bartenders were awesome. And then we went to, Miss Saigon moved. They were downtown in another location. Now they're they took over that big restaurant underneath TEP. They used to be Mion. Mr. On's son had that restaurant there that was open for a few years. Then it became the place where you went to go get your COVID shots during COVID. Now it's a restaurant again, and it's a huge spot. They redid the bar, nice place there. So we went, we kind of did downtown.
Yeah, that
Checked
sounds
out
like
some
fun.
new places. So there you go. You got several new places you can check out, and let DK know if you like it. Sonoran Moonshine Company and Miss Saigon is bigger and better underneath the TEP building. So we'll put those on the next edition of What's Up Weekend for sure.
Good plan.
All right. Getting you home every 20 minutes on this hot Monday is Cricket.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported and clearing at Kolb and Speedway and Kolb Road, Grant and Stone Avenue, and also Park Avenue and Aho Way. And some slowing on Grant east of Country Club due to road work. There is an excessive heat warning from 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. on Thursday, with our highs around 108, overnight low 71 and 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
The very best in play-by-play is on Tucson's best sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the home of the Wildcats and NFL play-by-play. This is the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
Time for the hot weather polar bear promise. Alaskan AC arrives in 1 day or your repair is free.
Wait, say that again?
We arrive in 1 day or your repair is free?
Again, but longer on the A.
We arrive in 1 day
Or your repair is free. Hear it?
No.
Alaskan AC, service guarantee. We arrive in 1 day
Or your repair is free. By George, he's got it. With the Alaskan AC service guarantee, we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Are we really doing this?
That's awesome, Gary. With Alaskan AC service guarantee.
We arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
We should probably...
Sing with us, William.
I would really rather...
Come on.
I don't want to.
Chicken bok bok.
Guys, no.
It's catchy.
Do it.
Sing out, Louise.
Fine.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Whoa.
Whoa is right.
Can we get back to work now?
Schedule anytime at AlaskanAC.com.
Incredible.
Rolly's Mexican Patio, conveniently located on 12th Avenue north of Irvington, is best known for their roll tacos, birria ramen, and award-winning birria tacos. Rolly's has become a must-visit destination when it comes to Mexican cuisine. They were also voted the ultimate Tucson restaurant bucket list in 2023. Chef Mateo Otero is an award-winning chef and a proud Tucson native. With his over 20 years of culinary experience, he opened up Rolly's Mexican Patio in 2017, which serves up delicious traditional Mexican cuisine using heritage foods that Mateo likes to call Sonoran Tucson food with a fun, modern twist. Rolly's is also available for catering, and coming soon, Rolly's West opening at the MSA Annex. Get more details and check out their full menu at RolliesTucson.com.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Rolly's Mexican Patio. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
O'Reilly! Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy? Now you can get 50% off any unlimited data phone plan. That's one line for only $25 a month, and you keep the phone you love. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. So find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Offer ends July 31st, 2024. Promo subject to cancellation after 12 months. Available exclusively online and in Total by Verizon stores. Requires a compatible unlocked device and SIM. See totalbyverizon.com for device compatibility and additional details. Taxes and fees may apply.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app.
Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users.
The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The young men and women who become United States Marines come from our hometowns to become a part of something greater than themselves. This commitment represents the highest level of steadfast allegiance to the betterment of our communities, our country, and our Marine Corps. The journey will be one of the most challenging, but also one of the most rewarding. The few, the proud, the Marines.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We've got a lot coming up for you on the show today. We're going to talk some FC Tucson women's soccer, as we always do. During the summertime, the FC Tucson ladies got a pair of wins over the weekend. They were ranked 16th in the WPSL, so we'll have to see if that ranking goes up. But we're going to talk to the head coach. We've talked to several of the young ladies on the side over the course of the last 2 weeks. Roberto Garcia, the head coach, will join us. We'll get a sense of what he is trying to do in his first season leading the WPSL side. He's a longtime coach in the FC Tucson Academy system, coaching on the youth level, and now with this opportunity to coach a little bit older group of young ladies. And we'll get Roberto's thoughts on that. Also, big this weekend, or this really at the end of last week, was the most recent meeting of the Arizona Board of Regents. And we didn't really get a chance to get into this on Friday because the sound portion was not available, but it did become available over the weekend. So we'll dive into Brett Yormark, our new commissioner, as we are moving to the Big 12 Conference, the University of Arizona. But Brett Yormark was here last week in Arizona. He addressed the Regents during their monthly meeting, which was held this particular month of June in Tempe at Arizona State University. And we'll dive into some of the things that he said in terms of his vision for the Big 12, what they'd like to get accomplished in fiscal 25, which will begin here in about 20 days or so. And you'll also hear from Desiree Reed-Francois. My top takeaway from this, and there was a lot of it. Went on for about an hour and a half, and we'll get into some of it today and maybe a little bit more of it tomorrow as well. But my top takeaway, I think, from this was Desiree Reed-Francois saying that she has moved her office from McHale Center to the Clements Academic Building. That is a first. I mean, most of the athletic directors have been housed in that western wing of McHale Center, at least ever since I've been here for 16 years. It's where Jim Livengood had his office. It was where Greg Byrne had his office. It was where Dave Hickey had his office. And apparently, though, it is not where Desiree Reed-Francois will have her office moving forward, as she has relocated to the academic building across the street from McHale Center. And she said she did that with the explicit purpose of being closer to the student athletes, because obviously that is one of the main thoroughfares for the athletes is the academic building. They go in there, they study, they've got rooms in there where they can do their homework and whatnot, and obviously get counseling and all of that. So it is probably the largest singular hub, because you've got everybody else kind of scattered. You've got the baseball kids, they're over at High Corbett Field. You've got football, they're at the Lowell Stevens facility, and then you've got a number of the other entities that have their own practice situations, whether it's the soccer, out at the Rincon Vista, soccer and track out at Rincon Vista and Hillenbrand Stadium for the softball team. But the academic facility is essentially the one place where all the student athletes are at probably some point every single day. So it makes total sense for Desiree Reed-Francois to have made the move to that building. So that was my top takeaway from the meeting of the Arizona Board of Regents last week that included Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark, Athletics Director Desiree Reed-Francois from the University of Arizona, and the new Athletics Director from Arizona State University, Graham Rossini. So you will hear from all three of those individuals in this show coming up just a little bit later. All right, so again, we touched on this in the first hour. One of the major stories of the weekend was the situation with the U.S. Women's Olympic basketball team and Caitlin Clark not receiving a spot. And I'm like, my God, J-Dub, you'd have thought the world ended when this came out on Sunday.
It's the same conversation we've been having for a long time, though, because anybody who's concerned for her safety because she's getting a lot of physical attention in the WNBA as a rookie has never watched sports. They don't understand how any of this works. And that's the same crowd clamoring for Caitlin Clark to be on the Olympic team. Kelsey Plum get pulled off of there?
No.
Maybe Diana Taurasi?
No.
Sabrina Ionescu, you want to take her off of there? No, there's a lot of really good guards from America who play the sport of basketball. She just has a line she's in. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we're going to hear from Caitlin Clark on her thoughts on this. We'll also dive into, again, it's our question of the day. So you can chime in on it on Twitter at Wildcats1290. You can also answer that question on Facebook. Head on over to our Facebook page. There's lots of different social media platforms that you can interact with us and interact with the show and get your thoughts out there. And I mentioned our app. You can go to our app right now. If you have a lengthy diatribe on this subject, you don't want to call in and be on the radio, but you just want to talk about it. You can go to our app. There's a thing on the front of our app that allows you to record a video. You can record a video of you talking about whatever topic you want to talk about and send that to us. Now, we will use it, of course. It's called Share Media. There's 3 buttons on there. You can message the station. That's sending a text. You can record audio. That's recording your voice. You can record audio of you talking about this subject, your thoughts on Caitlin Clark not getting a spot on the Olympic team, or you can record a video if you'd like of you and maybe one of your other friends talking about it, and you can send it to us. That's the Share Media button on our app. So if you want to share your thoughts on that, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do that. All right, let's see if we can hear from Caitlin Clark here about not making the U.S. Women's Olympic team and her thoughts on all of that. Caitlin Clark after practice. I believe this was yesterday.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break, from Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess?
Absolutely. It's going to be really nice. I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on. And just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, like, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, like, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
All right, that was Caitlin Clark after practice yesterday. Her thoughts on not being selected for the U.S. Women's Olympic team. She apparently talked to her coach about it, and her coach responded by saying that Caitlin told her they have awakened a sleeping giant, or she said all the right things there, but obviously she's going to use this as motivation moving forward to further her career and to prove the next time when this comes around in 4 years that she deserves to be, and I believe it's in the United States, if I'm not mistaken, in 2028. So
it's Canada.
Is it Canada?
No, let me finish. Canada and the U.S. sharing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she'll definitely be on that roster in 2020.
The problem here is that Caitlin Clark is very good. She's also very young. You know who's leading the WNBA in turnovers? That would be Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
By 2 per game. 2 per game more than anybody else in the league. She's shooting 37%. And I think a lot of that has to do with the grueling run that Iowa made to the championship game. And on the heels of that, getting the number 1 pick, all the media attention she's gotten. Caitlin Clark's, 23? There are many Olympic teams in Caitlin Clark's future. I just rattled off a lot of very famous guards as well. I'm kind of over it. Caitlin Clark broke Pizzle Pete's record. That's why people know who she is. It's because of what she's done in the last 6 months. What the people out there who know who Caitlin Clark is and only who Caitlin Clark is should probably read up on some of the other women who have been in this league for the past 10 years, DK, and have been a big reason why it's been popular before she was ever on the radar. There's this savior kind of thing going on here with Caitlin Clark, and I just think it's media-driven, and because they're trying to write stories and all that, I get it. But Caitlin Clark's not the savior of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark is someone who shoots 15 threes a game, and nobody's ever shot more than 8. And that's who she is. The volume that she puts up those shots, she's going to be an incredible scorer. But you know what she doesn't do very well, DK, is defend. So some of the players who got the spots ahead of her are women who understand the physicality of the national game. And the second reason why she was probably omitted is very simple. If she did make the team, she would get 10 minutes per game. What's worse? Everybody's media darling, who the entire world is clamoring over wanting to see her play on the Olympics, getting 8 minutes per game, and then them having something else to complain about, or her being left off the team altogether.
Exactly. Shout out, though, 3 Phoenix Mercury made the roster.
Yeah.
Dana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, and Kalia Copper.
Kalia Copper is deserving. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. She's having a fantastic season. Hit the game-winning shot on Friday night. Did you see that at the Footprint Center?
I didn't see that, but I did see the double overtime game they had yesterday.
Yeah. She hit that shot. That was a beautiful shot to make to get them the win on Friday night over the Minnesota Lynx. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll continue our conversation on women's sports. FC Tucson women having one heck of a season through their first 5 games. We'll talk to the head coach, Roberto Garcia. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. New collision Broadway near Country Club, west of Country Club on Broadway Boulevard. Also in the clearing stages, Grant and Stone Avenue, Park Avenue, and Ajo Way. Our lows 71, and there is an excessive heat warning from 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. on Thursday. Those highs going to be around 108. 101 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere, or when you had a green light but did some extreme braking because another driver decided to turn left in front of you. And we've all had to navigate monsoon downpours that turned our streets into Arizona's largest slip and slide. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires, the best steel, and a huge in-stock selection of the brands you trust. And now's the time to save big with the most rebates we've seen all year on the brands you love, like Michelin, Cooper, and Uniroyal tires, with up to $100 back all month long. And Jack Furrier cardholders get back another $30. Check out jackfurriers.com for details on all our sizzling summer savings. So for all those critical moments where your tires make the difference, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
Free tickets to a U of A baseball game? That's what Clipper Automotive is giving you a chance to win. Clipper Automotive is now a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and would like to give you the opportunity to win a pair of tickets to a University of Arizona baseball game this season. All you need to do is stop by the shop on Thorndale Road and put your information in the Enter to Win box. That's right, stop by to enter at Clipper Automotive. No purchase necessary. Clipper Automotive provides honest, reasonable, and stress-free automotive repair services and looks forward to servicing your vehicle.
Feel the excitement at Saguaro Harley-Davidson, right in the heart of Tucson. They're proud to be Arizona's #1 Harley shop with the largest selection of pre-owned inventory and the home of retail for trade. Looking to buy or sell? Saguaro Harley-Davidson is here to help. From events, parts and motor clothes, to service and sales, the team will meet all your Harley-Davidson needs with a smile and unmatched expertise. Make your Harley-Davidson experience one to remember. Only at Saguaro Harley-Davidson or online at saguaroharley.com. Some restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Paint during Pro Paint Days at Lowe's. And get free same-day delivery when you order by 2 p.m. Offers valid for 6/14, delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters need them. We look out for the helpers because they look out for us. Thank you, first responders! Thank you, first responders!
Learn how you can help first responders by texting BRAVE to 24365.
If a baby is giggling in the back seat, they're probably happy. If a baby is crying in the back seat, they're probably hungry. But if a baby is sleeping in the back seat, will you remember they're even there? When you're distracted, stressed, or not usually the one who drives them, the chances of forgetting them in the back seat are much higher. It can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot fast and can be deadly. So get in the habit of checking the back seat when you leave. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can text the word app 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 to 520-848-1290. We will send you a link. You can download our app. I told you there's 3 ways that you can interact with us on our app. You can also obviously catch up on all of the top stories that are on our app. The Diamondbacks survived a win yesterday in San Diego to avoid getting swept by the Padres. It was a rough weekend for the Snakes. We'll get into that a little bit later, but you can read all about the Diamondbacks weekend as well on our app. Our app slaps, so make sure you go and get a chance to check all of that out. All right, we were talking a little bit about the meeting between the Arizona Board of Regents and the new commissioner of the Big 12. Well, again, I keep calling him the new commissioner of the Big 12. He is the commissioner of the Big 12. He's new to us because the Wildcats will be moving to that conference.
He hasn't
Brett
been there
Yormark.
too long,
Yeah,
has he?
2 years. I think a little under 2 years. I think he started in 2022 was when Brett Yormark took over the conference.
I mean, August 1st, 2022, that's new.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, so he's still learning a lot because he's not a college-based executive. He in fact, was working in the National Basketball Association with the New Jersey Nets, so brings a professional background with him, which is one of the reasons that he believes he's the perfect guy for this new era of college sports, because he has that professional background, and there are so many elements of professional sports that are heading now into the realm of college athletics. So we got a bunch of sound we want to play from this. We had to kind of divide it up because a whole interaction between Brett Yormark and the Board of Regents went on for about an hour and a half. But I want you to hear just his vision for the Big 12 as the Wildcats begin their trek into this new world and new conference.
Honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I love the market, and it's always nice to pay a visit here. So let me start off with our conference vision. This is our vision statement. We aim to be the most relevant and nationally recognized conference, competing at the highest level and creating value for our membership athletically, academically, culturally, and commercially. The conference will act as a platform that amplifies student voices, celebrates athletic excellence, and welcomes in fans from every corner of the country. We will continually build our brand on the rich history of our league, but never rest on our laurels. We respect time-honored traditions, but embrace the shifting landscape of sports and society at large, season after season.
So that's Brett Yormark just talking a little bit about his vision for the Big 12, their vision statement for the Big 12. He also addressed the recent settlement known as House versus the NCAA, which was the lawsuit that was brought by former athletes over NIL, and his feelings on that and where we go from here now that that has taken place.
I want to give you my perspective on things, if that's okay, and then obviously we can open it up for discussion. I think where we landed was a reasonable solution. I spent a lot of time with my A5 commissioner colleagues, as well as the NCAA, on the settlement discussions. I think settling some of the antitrust litigation was critically important, because if not, we might not have been in the position to co-author what the future might look like. We probably didn't co-author it to the extent we would have liked to, but we did have an impact and a say in where we landed when it comes to settlement. I think settlement, for me, speaks to an industry reset, and I've said that publicly. I think the industry that we're in today needs a reset, and we're going to go through one. And I firmly believe 10 years down the road, we'll look back on it now and say, hey, it was much needed. It will be challenging. We'll have to think about life differently. But I think ultimately we're going to land in the right place for all of us. I know I speak on behalf of all of my members that we are going to thrive in this next chapter of collegiate athletics. We're going to make the right investment in the areas that we need to. We are going to compete at a high level. And the onus is on the conference to provide more resources than ever before. And we're ready for that. In fact, we've been preparing for it.
All right, again, that's Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12 Conference. This was his remarks last week to the Arizona Board of Regents. He talked about we're going to thrive in this new era of college athletics, which involves athlete revenue sharing. And one of the concerns that the Board of Regents brought to this conversation at this meeting last week was the appearance that, okay, well, you've got student athletes who are already getting scholarships. Now they're going to be getting some form of revenue. Aren't we double dipping in that respect? Both of the athletic directors of each of the, in-state universities, the two major in-state universities, I do not believe the AD for Northern Arizona was present at this particular meeting last week, but Desiree Reed-Francois from the University of Arizona was there, along with the new athletics director at Arizona State University, Graham Rossini. Desiree Reed-Francois addressed how initially they're looking at this whole dynamic of revenue sharing with the student athletes.
As we're thinking about revenue share, there's a lot that we don't know. This is uncharted territory. However, as we think about our great state, as we think about our university and our community, the University of Arizona Athletics, we bring $260 million in economic impact to Southern Arizona. We have a responsibility to compete at the highest levels. Participating in revenue share is part of that responsibility if we're going to continue to compete at this level. So it's our intention to participate, but there are a lot of details that we are still working through.
Graham Rossini, the new athletics director at Arizona State University, added his thoughts to that subject.
I think we're all getting a taste of the conversations that we've been lucky to be a part of for the past several months. I've had the good fortune of being in the Big 12 meetings for most of this calendar year. And so I've been a part of the planning, been a part of these discussions as well, which have been helpful. And, second, the comments that Desiree mentioned, we're uniquely suited in Arizona, certainly here at Arizona State University. So as we collect information, make, discipline planning moving forward the next 5-6 months, we'll have the benefit of clarity in a lot of these situations. But I do think we're uniquely suited here at ASU with the scale and the strength of this university behind us and all the opportunities in this tremendous market of the Valley and the Phoenix metropolitan area to be ahead of the ways that we connect, we can generate, we can build resources to support our student athletes at whatever formula gets defined coming forward. But we're very excited about our potential moving forward, and we'll look for all avenues to utilize that.
And I think the major message by Brett Yormark to the Arizona Board of Regents was that you got to invest. How critical it is for schools to continue in these governing bodies to continue to invest in athletics. You've got to invest in athletics. The Big 12 has taken steps. He called it, I forget exactly the term he used, but essentially he's like, we're investing in people. They've added a number of new executives. He's added, I believe, 5 new executives to his team to help manage this conference, to help create avenues to where all 16 of these schools can succeed. So this is kind of the gist of what we're about to enter into with the Wildcats and the Sun Devils moving in to the Big 12 Conference. Lots of good stuff coming out of this. We'll have much more of that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour and get some more fuller thoughts on from Brett Yormark on what the initial plan for this first year, fiscal 24-25 is going to be. Obviously, with everything that's happening and then the new contract and how that plays into it with the television partners. They talked about scheduling, how they're trying to schedule these things. You may have noticed that there were 3 game times on 3 football games came out last week for the University of Arizona. I told you last summer, nothing's going to change early in the season. You're still going to be playing night games. It's not like all of a sudden we're going to be playing 2:00 games, 1:00 games in September. That's not going to happen here with the weather. And the first 2 games are 7 and 7:15, and I believe they announced a 7:00 game later in the season as well. Maybe even an 8:00 game, I believe it was, against TCU later in the season. So you're still going to play some night games, folks, here in Arizona, at least home games in Arizona in September, and I would imagine maybe even in October. But we'll wait to see kind of how the rest of that shakes out. We even internally last week took a look at the potential of what the basketball schedule is going to look like. And basically what stood out to me is that the Big 12 plays every Saturday, both men and women. It's not going to be the same situation as we've had here the last few years where the men play on one night, the women play on another night. I think you're going to have everybody playing on Saturday, and then it's going to be a combination of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be those other days when Arizona basketball, women and men, are going to be on the floor moving forward. So count on every Saturday, and then we'll figure out whether it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday after that.
That just begs the question of who gets Thursday. And I say that because the PAC has always been Thursday, Saturday, and now the PAC no longer exists. And I get that because you're competing against the old Big East, was a juggernaut in television ratings back in the 80s and 90s. So a lot of those decisions were made to not want to go directly against some of those East Coast, much bigger cities, much bigger metropolitan areas. You don't want to compete against those. But now that the PAC doesn't exist,
right? Does Thursday come into play?
Is everybody going to play on Mondays? Like, I don't. We'll have to wait and see how that works out. I'm assuming maybe the ACC, Big Ten, they'll start playing some Thursday games. Who knows? But that evening, right, is going to be a little bit more open because the entire West Coast has gone away. They're no longer be commanding those Thursday night evening games.
We shall see. It's going to be kind of fun to watch that shake out in terms of the basketball schedule. Hopefully we'll know a little bit sooner than we've known for the Pac-12 the last couple of years, where we don't even know what the basketball schedule is, I think, until the end of September. Hopefully
growing up, like 80s, 90s, because when my dad had tickets to McHale since McHale was built.
Yeah.
My dad had bared down season tickets, okay, before McHale was built. But I remember going to McHale as a kid. It was always Thursday and always Saturday. There was no deviation whatsoever.
Right.
And it was only about 20, 25 years ago they started mixing in a lot more Sundays and Fridays and that kind of thing. But Thursday, Saturday was always it. It'll take a little adjustment to do that Saturday to Monday, Saturday to Tuesday type of schedule. It's not going to take long to get used to it. It's just the whole Thursday, Saturday was, you could set your watch to it. That's the way it always was.
All right, we'll dive into all of that. Any of your thoughts as well? Anything you heard from Brett Yormark, Desiree Reed-Francois there that kind of stuck out to you? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Like JW Madness here. Cricket is here as well. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. New collision reported Bear Canyon and Tankerverde and Bear Canyon. Collisions that are clearing Broadway west of Country Club, Grant and Stone Avenue, and also Park Avenue and Ajo Way. 71 the overnight low. There is an excessive heat warning from 11 a.m. tomorrow until 8 p.m. on Thursday. 1:01 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. Find the perfect Father's Day gift with Macy's Gift Finder. In just a couple clicks, you'll get personalized gift ideas for every dad at every budget. Visit Macys.com/gift finder and give love today at Macy's.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Attention Tucson. Remember, if it's game day and the Wildcats are taking the floor, you can count on 1290 to bring you all the play-by-play action, the biggest pre- and post-game show in the Pac-12. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
You hear it all the time. Lawyers talk about all their experience, many years of experience with insurance companies, and experience in the courtroom. But what they're not talking about is their results. Maybe they don't have any. At Lerner & Rowe, we're proud of our results because that's how we measure our success. We've helped over 150,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, with over $1 billion just in the last 5 years alone. When you want results, call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 of the program on this Monday. How are you? Hope you're having a great start to your week and that the weekend was good and that maybe you got in some pool time because it was hot. I got in a little pool time for sure yesterday. It was nice out there. Always nice to jump into a cool pool. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. First hour, we talked a little bit about the FC Tucson women. Ranked 16th last week in the WPSL. A couple of more wins this weekend. 6 more points for the ladies as they got victories. 2 victories, as a matter of fact, on the home side. Beat RSL Arizona in one of those games. Their rivals, their new rivals here in Southern Arizona. We're pleased to be joined by the new head coach of your FC Tucson women, longtime coach in the FC Tucson Academy. His name is Roberto Garcia. Roberto, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us today. First of all, how did this opportunity to move up to the WPSL side come along?